Hey everyone, my name is Tim Lloyd. I am a security here at Checkpoint based out of the Chicagoland market. Just want to thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate that. And today I want to talk to you a little bit about cloud security, right? I want to talk to you a little bit about cloud architectures, what drives the need, and I want to introduce you to the Checkpoint CloudGuard platform, which is our unified platform for solving all of your cloud security needs. Now, cloud is obviously important. No one needs to really be told that. The reason, however, it is important is that because the cloud is about speed. There was one thing that drives cloud adoption, it's speed. Speed, agility, elasticity, say it however you want. The bottom line is with the cloud, customers, enterprises are able to deliver more applications and services to their customers across markets in every part of the world through cloud elasticity, speed. But that also means that it opens up the enterprise to a much wider breadth of threat vectors. And that's where CloudGuard comes into play. It's why we're securing over 800 million cloud assets today. That's growing on a weekly basis. So we've seen some strong adoption, CloudGuard adoption over the years, and the need is there because really the cloud is the new normal. Enterprises view the cloud as necessary for success. And I want to take a step back for a minute and talk about a simple architecture to help you understand the issue that the cloud creates and how Checkpoint goes about solving those issues. Now, with any cloud architecture, you're going to have to expose some points to the internet, to the enterprise, right? So we have a front door. Your cloud workloads must have a front door, right? This is where users will gain access legitimately to your services and applications so that they can consume whatever it is your company, your enterprise produces. SaaS applications, mobile applications, they'll all traverse through the front door to gain legitimate access to the services you are providing to the world. And then you have a service door. It's not a back door, it's a service door specifically designed to extend really that private network into the cloud. This is often accomplished through a private leased line, or some kind of express route, network as a service. Um, Customers might use the internet and a VPN connection to accomplish this, but this is for the admin, right? For administration, management, deployment of cloud infrastructure and assets. We might also have DevSecOps engineers using the cloud for its development cycle. And you might have other corporate teams accessing the cloud assets through the service door. Now, these are also access points, threat vectors for bad guys to get in to steal your data, right? So on the front door, bad actors are going to be scanning, looking for assets wrongly exposed to the internet. They'll use, the common methods that you'll see in OWASP top 10, SQL injections, so that they can at least bust in and start to move around looking for your data. And the same through the service door. They might be different kinds of threats, but nevertheless, they are threats, right? This is a threat vector. So you might have a disgruntled employee. You might have unmonitored contractors. You might have an asset that's on-prem, that's infected and has gone out and infected other assets in the cloud through that service door. So these are certainly issues. And inside the cloud, there are other threat vectors. There are many different threat vectors, and it's very difficult to stay on top of it all. There are thousands inside the cloud because it's so dynamic, and there's such a wide breadth of services offered by cloud vendors, and they all impose some sort of risk that requires some type of control. Your security team could spend all day trying to clean this out, but the fact is, it feels like a zero-sum game. Like you're not able to tread water because you're cleaning up risks and more are getting added, and it really just feels like drowning after at the end of the day. Once a bad actor is inside, they're going to they're going to use those exposures to move around in the cloud, ultimately to get to your coveted data, whether that's, PII data, maybe it's customer data, maybe it's credit card data, but that's ultimately what they're looking to get to. And the question is, how do we control this environment, right? How do we deploy a stack of security solutions in a way that's meaningful, in a way that doesn't get lost on me because of alert fatigue? And that's where we want to talk to you and introduce you into what we call CNAPP plus prevention. Prevention is the ethos of Checkpoint in all of our security solutions. We're not looking to just detect a breach, we're looking to prevent it, right? Because if you're detecting, then you're already breached and the damage is done. So prevention is our ethos. That's what we do. And this is how we do it with CloudGuard, right? There are really three pieces. On the left, you have the WAF, web application and API protection. This is about securing your API traffic. On the far right, you have the network security gateway for protecting your cloud perimeter traffic against all other protocols. And then in the middle, you have the CNAPP portfolio, the Cloud Native Application Protection Platform, which has a number of point solutions inside of it. And we'll talk about those more in a minute. So lots going, a lot of threats happening inside the cloud. How do we address them all? Well, we start with a WAF, right? We have to protect that front door API traffic. You have users who are legitimately accessing web-based applications through API to ensure that that content is secure. We're going to use CloudGuard WAF. Now, CloudGuard WAF is differentiated. For starters, there are no rules to manage. And there are no signatures. It doesn't require a signature update. It doesn't require rules to manage. What it does do is it uses AI to learn your applications, to learn users, to learn those user patterns, so that when it detects an anomaly, it blocks the traffic immediately. So you have 0-day protection. You're protected against anything that's out there in the wild and unknown. Whereas when you look at the cloud native WAF, right? Look, Azure, AWS, GCP, they're great at monetizing their cloud platform. They've done the same thing with security, but their security tools are left wanting, right? Security is all that Checkpoint does. We live, we breathe, we eat, we drink security. It's what we do. And this is why we have a superior stack. And not only is it superior, but it's multi-cloud capable, right? If you go with a cloud native WAF or any cloud native security component, it's limited to supporting just that platform. If you want to go from cloud Azure to GCP or to AWS, and you're using cloud native tools here, you're going to have to reinvent your security posture everywhere else. That's not the case with CloudGuard WAF, right? Any one of our components that you deploy is multi-cloud capable. One of the things that we're very proud of with CloudGuard WAF is that it blocked all of these attacks when they were 0-day attacks. If you recall, Log4Shell, I think that was November of 2021. CloudGuard WAF is the only technology on the planet that blocked it while it was still a 0 day, while it was still unknown. And you can see on the far right how long it took for cloud native tools to catch up, to develop signatures, to deploy to their WAF, to protect, these malicious vulnerabilities, right? Log4Shell was a CVE10. We were blocking it day one when it was born. It took 5 weeks to get an IPS signature for these other cloud native tools. Secondly, right, you're going to need to add network security gateways, both to, that front door as well as the back door, right? This is about zero trust. We trust nothing. So any of the network entering the service door from a corporate office or the corporate data center or from corporate users accessing it through VPN, it must be filtered, right? This is a zero trust principle. And with CloudGuard Network, much of the same story as CloudGuard WAF, so I don't want to get repetitive with you guys. You heard me talk about the multi-cloud piece, right? And some of the limitations with with the cloud native firewalls. But at the end of the day, CloudGuard Network is based on our Quantum Gaia OS and our full portfolio of Checkpoint software blade technology for advanced threat protection and threat prevention, right? You're not going to get hardly any of that with the cloud native tool set. That's a huge difference, right? And we're making it very easy to consume, which is why we're seeing such great adoption, right? With Azure vWAN, we're integrated. With AWS Cloud WAN, we're integrated, right? I'm having conversations with customers on a weekly basis because the integration is so effective, simple, and the architectures are really powerful. All right, thirdly, we want to talk about the CNAPP piece as we close out our time together, right? How do we remediate those remaining risks, right? We said there were thousands of them inside the cloud. That's where CNAPP comes into place. We have 6 CNAPP modules. I don't want to get into the weeds with you on all of them here right now because if I did that, it wouldn't stick. But I am going to, in a couple slides, give you a graphic to help you try to understand how CNAPP works in the cloud, to give you a mental picture so that it sticks with you. Right now, what I'd like to do for you is explain to you how the CNAPP portfolio works together with WAF protection and network protection to give you visibility into your exploitable risks and your sensitive risks so that you know without a doubt where the most critical risks are that need your remediation. We call this effective risk management, ERM. So we're going to provide you a top 10 list in ERM that says, here are your most exploitable sensitive risks that you need to care for in your cloud environment. And here are the steps that you need to take to remediate it. It's very powerful because it's going to help you gain powerful insights, helpful insights out of all of the logs that are coming into our unified cloud platform, right? And that's really what this is about. On the left, you've got our CNAPP wheel, the 6 components that we had briefly looked at and mentioned earlier, which I'm going to show you in more detail, but it's managed on a unified platform, which is critical. When you have a unified platform, you have the power to gain extremely valuable insights, right? So with CloudGuard Network as an example, you can be managing your security gateways on any cloud, on any public cloud, whether that's Azure, GCP, or AWS, from the same management console as your on-prem Checkpoint Quantum gateway appliances, right? And the power is unified policy, unified logs, unified gateway operation. It makes it easier for your security admins to gain insights, to do their job on a daily basis, a unified policy, which helps ensure that your environments are protected. When you have disparate environments, it makes it difficult to gain insight, helpful insight, really from anything. And ultimately, that is what um, develops alert fatigue. But with our CNAPP portfolio, right, and our CloudGuard network and our WAF platform, everything is aggregated into Checkpoint Infinity event, where we are able to take those logs to gain meaningful information so that we can guide you in effective risk management. And that's the big payoff of a single platform. Now, I just want to close out uh, our time together by giving you a mental takeaway so that you could see how all of these things work together. When the cloud was born, the cloud application lifecycle was born, right? And this is about bringing it all together. So you've heard the terminology shift left. This is a shifting of security to the left on this life cycle. So when developers are developing applications, this is where security starts. It starts to the left of the life cycle. So we're scanning our code, we're scanning for secrets, we're scanning repositories, we're ensuring that communication between development teams is secure before an application is released into the runtime environment. Now, once we have a clean application and it is released into your application runtime environment, you have to secure those threat vectors, right? Number two is container protection, cloud workload platform protection, CWPP. This is about protecting your containers, right? You're using a WAF, which is number three. WAP, WAAP, WAP is web application and API protection. Right, this is about securing your API traffic. It's a WAF, as we talked about earlier, whereas CWPP is protecting the infrastructure, the container. So think Docker, think Kubernetes, even think serverless, right? So serverless functions would be protected in the CWPP component of CNAPP. And then, of course, we have our network security, which we already talked about, protecting everything inside of your runtime environment. And finally, on the far right, we have KIM and CSPM. Number five, KIM is Cloud Identity Entitlement Management. This is about enforcing the zero trust principle of least privileged access, right? This is ensuring that a user has minimal amount of access to do their job, right? No God mode rights in cloud. This helps your security posture. And lastly, cloud security posture management, CSPM. Uh, with the advent of the cloud, suddenly you have thousands of VMs, thousands of containers, thousands of serverless functions, applications running all over data centers across the world, which ultimately leads to questions like, who built my stuff? Who put it there? Where is it at? Right? What data center is it in? And does it follow my security standards? Right? CSPM is the monitoring tool that's going to answer those kinds of questions. And it's also an enforcement point, right? It can be configured to apply those standards automatically without intervention. So that's cloud security posture management. Very important. This whole entire family is necessary And I wanted to put it in this picture so you could see where each applies in the cloud security stack. So hopefully that's helpful for you. That's really the last piece I had for you guys, right? CNAPP plus prevention from CloudGuard is how we go about it. If you were here right now and you were a customer, I would have a conversation with you. Maybe not all of these pieces are relevant or important to you, but I would certainly talk with you in order to maybe take some time to further introduce you to the platform through some demos and possibly POCs. So again, my name is Tim Lloyd. I do appreciate the time. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it very much.